Leadership is this: to understand the difference between knowing as best we can the problems we face, identifying those problems for decision by all those who are affected, and creating the future by design instead of just allowing it to happen because we didn't care enough to try to figure out what we do need to do. We need to make decisions that establish life comes first for the whole planet, not just the individual, the whole planet. We don't live without a whole planet. Instead of, as is in America today for the last 50 years or more, 50 plus years and much more actually, our leaders hide from reality. They are destroying the nation with corruption of all kinds. And they are terrorizing the world with their little fantasies and delusions about what they can and cannot do by playing God. They have created numerous threats which will get us all killed. And that is just what the evidence proves. It's not a game, and it's not a decision of mine, it's not a fantasy. There are threats that will kill us all. Just because the people at the university have extreme arrogance, they think they can play God, and extreme greed, which means they get everything and we get very little. Or more correctly, they took everything they wanted and bankrupted us. The money is gone. They play God with life, even ours. Leadership then begins with the investigation for the realities and relationships that identify what is true. It's not just a game. We don't want to believe me, don't want to believe them. We want to look and see what is true by the evidence. That leads us all into directions associated with life must come first. If we don't choose for life first, we will die as a planet. Every threat says it's true. To accomplish that, every effort must be made to ensure that what we believe can or cannot be true. It is in fact the evidence that is proven by the reality, which then becomes the basis and foundation of what we can or cannot depend upon for our futures. Discipline forms the boundaries of what can be known. Discipline admits if we don't know enough, then we cannot make a decision which will endanger life or environment, because we cannot be wrong. That's, of course, completely different than the university, which creates a story and words and math to try to lead you in directions that are away from reality in life. Order shapes our world because it understands such things as life will not survive without water or food. Therefore, do not go where these things do not or will not exist, as is our current and probable future for life on Earth. We, the resources are near, just everything is wrong. We can leave it at that. And as far as, continuing on, it's just like walking into the desert without water or any provisions, and just enough to get as far as you can go, and then you just went too far to get back. Balance asserts if we do not accept the limits of our environment or our bodies or its life, then we have no respect for our living or its desired survival. Without respect, there is only destruction coming. Consequently, respect is the fundamental that must live within every classroom and every life to attain peace or harmony with each other as a society. These three basic elements of leadership confront us all because there is extremely little discipline, order, balance, or respect throughout the governing of this America, or this world most likely. I don't really know about the world, but not in America. They believe they're God. And society worships them as a religion, but they are God. They aren't. They're just idiots. Well, it's just tragedy. So says the evidence by the reality of what is coming. They have failed us all. the leaders, or more correctly, the university-led leaders, because the university tells them what they believe. Memorize the book, and you're God. Well, the book and its rules are not God. Unless, because of these, nature is mutilated. DNA is nature. You can't mutilate DNA without mutilating nature. Nature is what brought us here. Nature is what keeps us alive. And nature is the only thing that can keep us alive. So they mutilate it. There are experiments that intend and threaten to destroy the entire planet, such as igniting sunfire here on Earth. We can't put it out. There's no future for any child because, without resources, there is no future. It's like living in the desert. Can you survive in the desert? Very, very few. And we are many. And, of course, they have bankrupted us, which means they took over control of government, and then they just, started printing money. And when I say printing, I mean, electronically, just adding a few more zeros to whatever they want, which then becomes counterfeit when you actually hide the inflation by declaring it's an increase in assets. Assets didn't increase. It didn't. Debt increased, but we can't pay it, so that's not real. Which simply means civil war will come, or a different war, because to keep the people under control, if you have no money and they have no future and they're very angry, war comes to, make that go away. Therefore, the decision, particularly for Americans, is very simple. We can just say it, get your head out of your ass. Or more simply, no more cult knows everything, as is the current cult worship. I mean, seriously. You believe that the university knows everything. Man, the reality of our situation is by the evidence. Go search for yourself by the evidence. What they knew and what they did was the opposite of everything we needed to have done. You didn't get any infrastructure repaired. Nothing for the future has been done in 50 years and more. Nothing. So get off your lazy ass. Yep. You do have a responsibility to life, and even your own. You got to stand up for this life, for our world. You have to pay the damn price to survive, because if you don't, you're going to die. Or if you just refuse to accept the reality, you can finish digging your own grave and die. Really. Your university experts have killed you. The future is dead. But that's how it is. It's not hard to comprehend. Just take a look at all the threats. Just the fact that the world is increasing in population by another billion in less than 10 years is enough to kill us all. Extinction for everything, resources gone. Business says that it used more resources, sold more goods in 10 years, and that's a few years back, than it did in all of human history before that. Think about that for a minute. How long will it last? You have no excuse not to investigate. Matters to you too. World lost. Even you can understand bringing sunfire here. If once ignited, if it doesn't put itself out, there's no putting it back. There's no changing that. It's like a forest fire at 10 million degrees instead of 3,000. There's nothing you can do. So the critical decision for leadership is nothing from the past matters more than what is to be done in the future. Past is over and we cannot change it. Which means to continue on as best you can, or more distinctly, choose to fight honestly for life today, for our world, even if you are wrong in the past, because we do need every single one that will work for life. Respect each other and do the best you can. That was not simple truth. Whatever happens with your work is irrelevant. Do the best you can. You, like me, cannot do more than that. It is that simple. We just do the best we can. Communicate and try until the evidence proves we are lost. That's, the bottom line. You got to keep working until it's over. Critical decision for religion is what you want most is dead. Therefore, what is true must replace your existence with reality, and the value of miracles in life that you can see all around you are without question the truth. That leads to respect if you accept miracles as truth, and respect leads to an eternity you can survive. Don't judge, you will be judged. That's just plain truth. Protect this creation as best you can. It's all we have in time. But to date, all but the tiniest few have failed life completely, and that means hell is coming. Isn't that what at least the Christian religion preaches? Hell is coming. Well, think about it and change. You can't keep worshiping the university. The university is our primary enemy. And as far as the decisions that make for hell have been done. That's just how it is. Their big brain didn't help you. Unfortunately, it's true. Critical decision for politics is do what must be done to enable a future and keep all war, including civil war, from coming true. To destroy what can never be rebuilt. We don't have the resources to rebuild. It's not a game, and there's no compromise with less than life comes first. For us all, or the planet first. Not the individual, the planet first. Critical decision for business is stop your greed, or you're going to die. Because there just isn't enough. We are too many people. We have to share. Because unless we all find some happiness, sharing responsibilities, there is only war coming. Followed by cannibalism, and hell will follow. Critical decision for industry is unless we share with the future, every child will die. And that is true. No resources, no work, no nothing. Which means the choices to be made are not about money. The critical decision for agriculture is stop poisoning everything, or there won't be any water, or food, or pollinators, or anything. And the war will be extremely violent without those things. Critical decision for the fishing industry is don't destroy the future. Don't do it. Stop. The critical decision for the mining industry is the least environmental damage possible. That's the mandate for the future. Critical decision for military is surrender power and choose the grace of keeping world peace by establishing law, not weapons. That's the price. Critical decision for education is reality must be served, not your fantasies, and it's not about college, it's about what society needs and people need. The critical decision for the poor is fight without the law and you will lose. It must be by law, not a gun. The critical decision for the rich is simply eternity is watching you. I suggest you fight for life, not greed. Critical decision for the police is peace is not an army. It is a decision to respect before there is a need to fight. Fight, you lost. Even though you can win the battle, you still lost the war. Critical decision for the public citizen is without responsibility that includes the protection of democracy and the fight for justice. There is no tomorrow. You have to, protect what you have. Cannot want. We are too many people. Nature won't survive. We can't just want whatever we want. You must let truth decide for life first, for our world. Critical decision for the university is no more stories to cover up what you don't know. No more fantasies. You can't have any more trophies or toys. No more evolution. That's a fool's lie. It's stupid and beyond disgrace. No more extreme experiments or threats to life or planet. No one gets to gamble with life itself, including you. No more stealing. You are equal, not superior. No more cheating. No more counterfeiting or disrespect to life and the world and society and everything. No more manipulation, as is propaganda through media. No more tempting. Stop threatening life. Or more simply, the cult worship is over. Get down off your pedestal and let truth decide, according to what is best for all life on this planet. That alone determines what is left for us all. That you can or cannot do is to be determined by society itself instead of just you. You have failed. And that's just the facts of life. 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 The facts of life.